I want to share the speech that I think might work on the stump from one of our current candidates. It goes like this. This is when our friend, the vice president, has declared for the presidency.
Yeah, he's going to run against the incumbent. He's resigned the office, and he's resigned the vice presidency, and he's going to run against the incumbent president.
And he's out on the street in New York on Fifth Avenue, if I remember correctly.
Just crossing the park.
Yep. And he says, "We live in perilous times. What shall we do about it?" That was how he began one part of that remarkable speech. Shall we, as some keep insisting, turn our back on the freedoms so many of us have fought for and died for? Shall we, in order to defeat those who would destroy us, become just like them? Shall we become a country in which no one is allowed to speak his or her mind because someone might disagree, because it might not be what someone in the government wants to hear? Have we become so unsure of ourselves that the only way we can defend ourselves is to lock up those with a different point of view? Shall we become the land of cowards and informants spying on others in the dismal hope that it will prove there is no reason to spy on us? Shall we do this, turn our back on more than 200 years of sacrifice and trial, give up the promise we once made to the world to be the last best hope of freedom, and go sniveling into the night, traitors to ourselves? That sounds like current events to me.
John Kerry should get that speech.
Yeah, ship it out to him. He could use it.
I wanted to create a character who took seriously the spoken word. And there's some things that you'll recall early in the book where Browning is trying to explain some of this to Antonelli and talking about some of the people he knew that were great in political life. One of the people he mentions, by the way, is former U.S. Senator from Michigan, Phil Hart. One of the reasons not so much the reason I wanted to write the book, but one of the things I'd always wanted to do was to say something in there about what Phil Hart really did, because years ago, I had the great good fortune to work for him during the last 3 years of his life.
That's right.
And Hart is the one whose name is on that Senate office building that was shut down during the anthrax scare shortly after 9/11.
Oh, okay.
And but Hart, you can go through all the nonfiction books written on American politics over the last 25 years, and you'll seldom see his name mentioned, despite the fact that probably more than anybody else, he got the Voting Rights Act of 1965 through. But no, I wanted.
Is the story that you tell about Hart and possibly going on the Supreme Court, that the story that you tell in the book, is that a true story?
Absolutely true.
Wow.
Absolutely true. Nobody knows it, but it's true. Johnson, the story goes, listeners should know, is that when Lyndon Johnson wanted to move Abe Fortas from Associate Justice to the Supreme Court to become Chief Justice, there was a big firestorm, and Fortas ended up having to resign from the bench. And Johnson, near the end of his term, decided he'd give the Senate a name they couldn't turn down. And so Hart was asked, and for whatever reason, Hart said no.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It really is.
It really is.
He was a remarkable man.